Good evening, dear viewers. You're most welcome to this special episode, a talk show, where we're going to see a team which is led by the HAIL Project, who are going to give a session in regards to HIV, and I'm your host, Sande Junior Tom. However, key to note to you esteemed viewers, today is a World AIDS Day, which is celebrated globally every first December of every year, and now today, today was 2024, and they had a theme which was Take the Right Path, where they said your health is your first priority you have to consider. And also, key message we would love also to give out to you, fighting HIV starts with knowing your HIV status. Thank you. However, we are going to get a team which are going to introduce themselves, which are from the HAIL Project, and this project runs in the districts of Terego and Yumbe, and they target people in the youthful ages, because you know that those youthful ages are tender ages where someone can either fall off track or maybe remain on track. So, however, they are going to let us know what they are doing, and mainly today they will be focusing on HIV. However, let's first get this team, introduce themselves, then we pick on. I'll start with my near right. You can introduce yourself, sir, then we pick on.
Thank you so much, moderator, and good evening, viewers. My name is James Sasilaza. I'm here on behalf of SRH Alliance and Code 8. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Then we go to the far right.
Good evening, viewers. I'm called Abaro Asia. I'm from Terego District Local Government, Department of Health.
All right.
You are welcome.
Okay, thank you very much, Madam Asia, and also have Mr. James, and they are a team from HAIL Project. However, we would love to first hear from you, Mr. James. A viewer outside them may need to know, what is HAIL Project? What activities do you guys run? And also we would love you to relate it today, because I know you want us to relate it to HIV as we are celebrating to the World AIDS Day. What is this project, and why are you mainly focused in the districts of Terego and Yumbe?
Yeah, thank you so much, moderator. Because HAIL Project, many people call it HAIL, but it is an abbreviation.
Okay.
HAIL is Healthy Empowered Youth for Resilient and Better Community Outcomes. It's a project that targets young people aged 10 to 24 years. But also when you look at our population, almost 75% are young people in Uganda. And this project is implemented in Terego and Yumbe in partnership with the district, but also other partners for purposes of collaboration. Some of the key interventions in this project that I'll break them down in terms of institutional capacity strengthening. When we are institutional capacity strengthening, we are looking at education, we are looking at health, we are looking at cultural and religious leaders. And specific in the education, where we have most of the young people aged 10 to 24 years we are doing what is called sexuality education. And sexuality education provides age-appropriate information that not only bring information on HIV/AIDS, but bring information across, information on life skills, information on health relationship, information on puberty. Then when you also come to strengthening cultural leaders build in their capacity to increase the social behavior change. You realize that the issues regarding health start right from home. And cultural leaders are very much important in bringing out this. And the target, also the objective of this project, is to end teenage pregnancy, but also early marriage. Now when you find culturally, marriage is officiated by the cultural leaders, clan leaders, and all this. So how are we going to see that clan leaders doesn't officiate marriages among young people? So when you move to the next institution is strengthening capacity of the district local government, what we call the health system strengthening, providing maternal child health equipment to ensure that these services are provided with quality for young people who are already pregnant or some who want to access other maternal child health services. So today, of course, globally, we are celebrating HIV/AIDS Day, but also we are showing respect to the people who died because of this disease, some time back, but also still continuing. So what are we doing as HEYO project? In all these interventions that I mentioned, we ensure that the key messages on abstinence, key messages on use of protection for you during sexual intercourse, key messages in schools is distribution of the talking compounds. A talking compound where you have information on HIV/AIDS, but also other health-related issues that can be prevented. One thing, moderator, you get to know is that in our schools, we realize that most of the schools, people doesn't speak English. And you find it's one of the key challenges that even affects the information that is given to them. Because people are more speaking like the project area Aringati and Lugbarati. So you find these talking messages are put in English. But also if we are to translate everything into Lugbarati and Aringati, school setting, people are expected to be able to speak English, comprehend it very well, because it is what they are going to use for passing the exams. And it's one of the key challenges that is really affecting some of this information communication in schools. And of course, HEYO project is still trying to work in collaboration with our partners, because the other partners are very important. They are also cascading other information relating to HIV/AIDS, relating to ending teenage pregnancy, relating to prevention of school dropout. Research shows that when you keep a girl in school, chances of marrying is reduced by 70%, which means that even the chance of this girl getting a HIV/AIDS infection, because she lacks information regarding this, is also highly reduced. Because if she remains in school, she will be able to access information regarding HIV/AIDS, information regarding her body. So through other partners and in collaboration, we are rolling this down in the community. And I also want to thank the district team of Terego. They have always been really with us in this project. Whenever we call on their technical support, they come in to support us, offering a ground where we can be able to freely operate. Both SRH Alliance and CONAID in Terego was something which is really a plus from our side. And we pledge that this project, as it runs up to 2026, we pledge that we shall continue to support the district to achieve its goal of the 95% across. Before 2030, we need to see a reduction in HIV/AIDS prevalence in the district. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. James, for that elaborate explanation on what this HEYO project is all about. However, I would love to know from you, why did you guys mainly focus on the youth? Then also had you talk of the 95. We have been hearing of this triple 95. Could you maybe try to break it for us? Because we have this triple 95, 95, 95, 95 before, by the year 2030.
Yes, thank you so much. I will highlight majorly why we have decided to go with the younger people, and I will leave the area of 95 for my colleague. Why do we focus on young people? I mentioned earlier on, our population, about 70% are young people. We are now about 46 million, so when you do 70% young people, which means the adults are really fewer. And the youth, the HIV/AIDS infection among the youth is also increasing. It's increasing steadily. But also the behavior of youth, especially where we are, the project area is, there's a high school dropout, substance and drug abuse in these communities are high. Of course, the common one here is Maringi. One thing you need to notice also, in West Nile, school completion in secondary school is about 23%. Yeah. Very, very low. And in primary is about 40%. Very low. So you find that the young people, if not targeted very well in school, they will be able to drop out. And when they drop out, the chances of them getting HIV/AIDS infection. Not only HIV/AIDS infection, but also other infections. Because when we talk about sexual health look at psychological, mentally, we are looking at the general well-being of the body. So the young people being more than the adults, the project thought it wise that to target the young people, but also issue of teenage pregnancy, issue of early marriage is also high, and all these are things affecting young people. That's why we are the most important, the outcome that we are looking at is having productive young people, because our human development data for 2024 puts Uganda 154 out of 195 countries. So you find that, which means a child born in Uganda is 18% productive at the end. It's just 18% productive, meaning that we need to target young people so that they will be able to increase on our productivity. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. James, project lead, let me say, from HEYO project. Then I'll need to get from you, Madam Asia. We would love to understand, since today is World AIDS Day, we would love you to give us a picture of the statistics. Are the numbers of HIV infections still rising? Are they reducing? Such that we could get to know whether it's still like a serious which we should consider pandemic.
Okay, thank you very much. If you take HIV currently globally, the latest statistics shows that globally we have around 88.4 million people who are infected with HIV. That is the total statistics, and about 42.3 million people have died, which will take you to around almost 50%, if not 50, 49%. And then 39.9 million people are currently living with HIV as per the year 2023. And then 1.3 million people get infected with HIV annually. That is by the year 20. 130,000 people have died last year, 2023. That is the global picture, meaning that HIV is still there with us, and it is in all the countries. And if you don't take the precaution measures properly, people still die from HIV-related conditions. Now, taking the Ugandan situation, the first HIV case in Uganda was identified by the year 1982, where people were calling it Slimu.
Even up to now.
By then, there was no clear diagnosis for HIV. So by the year 1985, the first medical doctor was able to diagnose HIV. And the first cases of HIV were in Rakai region. And up to now, Rakai is still remembered for that infection of HIV. Then when HIV was discovered in Uganda, the president took the initiative to roll out the massive role to prevent HIV among the first countries in Uganda. Currently in Uganda, we have around 1.2 million people who are on treatment for HIV. And around 1.4 million people are already infected with the virus. That is from the Ministry of Health report of the financial year 2023 estimates.
Okay.
And then the prevalence of HIV is still high. It stands at 5.1% among the adults. But it is not across every age group. That is 90 years. That is a 2022/2023 report, if you take that one. Then the disparities are due to other factors, like in females, you find the prevalence rate is higher than the one in males. Then if you take special groups, like the commercial sex workers, the prevalence rate is around 31%, which is very high. And then for the fishing community, it is around 23%, and then the prisoners is 15%, and then men who have sex with men, the prevalence rate is also high at 12%. And these are the modes of transmission of HIV in most cases. Those are the risky groups who are more prone to getting HIV among the rest of the population. The country has registered around 48% decline in AIDS annual related deaths, meaning that from 37,000 in 2016 to around 19,000 in the year 2023. That is a drastic drop in the HIV-related death. Then the new infections declined from 52,000 to 38,000 by the year 2023 by December. That is the estimate. And then the prevalence dropped from 7.3% in 2011 to 5.1. That is the Ugandan-based population impact, what is called the UFIA report. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Madam Asia. Actually, these numbers, yes, they are too worrying actually, though there is a significant improvement. At least the registered number of deaths are tending to reduce. However, I would love also to know from you, do you have some statistics in regards to the youth, because your project is running on the youth?
Yes, we have statistics regarding to the youth, and that one is mostly from Terego. Okay. With time, we shall give you that statistics. Okay. Yeah, it will come later on.
All right. Thank you. Again, I come back to you. Mr. James talked of the 95, 95, 95, 95. A viewer may need you to break it down for them to understand. What are you trying to mean by this 95?
Okay, the 95 is a strategy by Ministry of Health to ensure that the HIV services given to the population are up to date. The first 95 is aiming at identifying all around 95% of HIV-infected people in the community. They are saying that they should know their status, meaning that we should be able to test them and pick them from the community. And then the second 95 is now talking about the linkage of these HIV positive clients to care. We have services across our facilities. In fact, all the health center 3s and the health center 4s, including the hospitals, are offering HIV services in Terego district, including some specific health center 2s which are accredited to give the care. So linkage is key when we want to avoid death related to HIV. And then the last 95% is now the quality of treatment we give for these HIV patients, meaning that 95% of the HIV positive clients will be able to suppress their viral load. One of the indicators in monitoring HIV quality of care is the viral load, meaning that if your viral load is suppressed, your drugs are working very well. I think that is the the clarification on it, 95, 95, 95. The first 95 is use HIV positive, you should know your status.
Yes.
Then the second 95 is you should be linked to care. You start treatment. Then the last 95 is when your viral load should be suppressed.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Madam Asia. I come to you, Mr. James. As we celebrate or commemorate World AIDS Day today, on this day of 1st December, there is a youth who is seeing you outside there at the moment. They would love to know which things could they do at the moment which could put them at risk of acquiring HIV in case their status is yet negative.
Thank you so much. There are a number of things that always put you to get infected with HIV/AIDS. And of course, in the communities, to start with the immediate one, in that premarital sex. When I talk about premarital sex, this sex that is outside the marriage, sex where you go without knowing the status of the person you're going to have sex with. So you outside there have taken sex like not knowing that the impact of sex is gross. One of the things is that is driving pregnancy high at school because of young people involved in matching sex. They make child which they cannot take care of and leave them. Now, when they involve in sex without knowing their status, someone gets infected, will not know that he or she is infected. Remains with the infection, the time they get realized, it's late. And sometimes suppressing the viral load that talks about next time. And also the other thing is we look at the rampant uncontrolled discourse in some of these places. You know, we are hosting refugees. We have many developed rural centers, especially Terego. So you find that there are discos, and when young people come for disco, one, they are unprotected because there's no one, an adult that talks to them. At the end, issue of rape comes in, and of course there are isolated cases of rape that has been also really coming in line of the project area operation, and that alone, if the person is not handled, reported, the case is not reported to health facility for immediate support of PEP, you find that this person at last can contract HIV/AIDS if at all the people who are involved in raping her are infected. The other thing is what we call the substance abuses. You find people chew a lot of marungi, drink alcohol, and at the end of the day, all these factors leads them into a behavior that is described to be antisocial. Antisocial, not liked in the community, and it drags them to involve in sex. You find that the cross-generation sex is kind of increasing now. A young person going for an elderly person. So the issue of cross-generation sex. You find that all these issues again leads to them contracting HIV/AIDS in community. And of course, for the young people out there, the best thing and the theme of today that we are celebrating, you must take the right path. If you want to take the right path, you need to be able to follow and know, when should I be able to involve myself to this premarital sex? Because when you look at HIV/AIDS infection, for me, I'll say 90% of people who get infected get it through sex. Because there's some of these issues that you can now get HIV/AIDS through means are highly now prevented. There is no way that someone can be able to get it. And most of them 90% through sex. Issue of EMTCT is there to prevent transfusion. These are all limited chances to get, but sex contributes about 50%. Young people out there, take the right path. Your health is your right. You must know the status of the person you're involving yourself with, and should not be done like today. I've seen we have now the test kits, the RDT test kits are there. Some of them are with VST. Someone goes and say, VST, you test me. My girlfriend. Just immediately. And you need to know the sensitivity and the reliability of these RD tests. Does it rule out immediately that if I test now and I'm negative, should I involve into sex with this person? You test now, but you find that the sensitivity and the environment you were in does not give you a proper reading of the results. So young people should try must to first have a test before they get into sex, but if they can, they should abstain completely from sex.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. James. However, I'm going to ask a question. You respond to it as a parent. You have a young person viewing you from outside there. At
Yes.
what age would you recommend them to start involving in sexual activity?
You know, when we look at sex as a parent, I'll say you should involve yourself in sex when you're married, and our legal age of marriage starts from 18 years. But to be honest, our young people may not be able to wait for 18 years, and depending on the environment and circumstance they are in. I will advise that if you want to involve, you are just repeating the same statement. The age will be difficult to say 10 years, 20 years, but if you realize you're sexually active, you know, puberty occurs differently. You may find that Madam Asia here, her puberty might have started quite late compared to another young person. You find a girl of 10 years is sexually active and she wants to have sex. So there, the issue of abstinence, the issue of taking tests should be a priority for a young person to involve in sex. I'll advise that for you to be able to think about sex, make sure you have reached to a certain level that you can make a right choice, a right decision to have sex.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. James. Hope the young viewers outside there you have gotten to know. Please go into the sexual activity when your body and mind are ready and prepared for it. Then also he told us the key factor here, in case you're yet young, the factor to follow is abstinence. I would, however, come to go back to Madam Asia. You in this HAIL project, like now for today, we are focusing on HIV. What are some of the initiatives or interventions you guys are doing in the communities of Terego and Yumbe to ensure that these youth are safe, protected from getting HIV?
Okay, thank you very much. We are working with the partners in collaboration, and the partners help us a lot. What we do for these youth is we take for them services nearer to them. We do community outreaches where we give education on the HIV prevention, including abstinence. That is actually the key for the young groups of the population who are not yet married. Where they are married, we encourage them to be faithful to each other, not to now cross going to other areas. And then where they cannot do without sex, at least they should use protective measures like condoms. That's where they can't. But otherwise, abstinence is the key for them. And then we also screen them for other illnesses, the STI. If they have, we give them the treatment. And then we encourage them to involve in productive activities. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Then also I would love to know from you, whenever we talk of sexual reproductive health, some people may focus mainly on maybe HIV, and some people look on pregnancy. Are there other services you guys are offering in package to the youth under the Sexual Reproductive Health Rights project?
Under sexual reproductive health, there are a number of services we give for these people. Especially the health education is key. We educate them on their growth, the changes they might incur as they grow, especially when they reach the puberty. what changes are there in their body parts so that they become aware. And then we also give them the treatment for the illnesses they're experiencing. And then we also give for them family planning services if they're available, where we emphasize more on it, the natural methods. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much, Madam Asia and Mr. James. This wraps up our first segment. Then we are going to go in for a short commercial break. And in the next segment, this team from HEYO, which are running the HEYO project, will give us more of the interventions they are doing in regards to helping the youth fight HIV, and also they'll give us some of the challenges they're encountering and the way forwards they have come up with to solve these problems. Let's get back. Thank you.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Unwrap your holiday cheers with StarTimes this Christmas season. Starting the 15th of November, simply pay your monthly subscription for the next bouquet and automatically enjoy content on the next higher bouquet, plus a chance to win exciting prizes. Your gift box contains variety of local entertainment and fresh shows, exciting cartoon and fun kids entertainment, mega superstars, local and international, a memorable trip to Spain to watch a La Liga match. And that's not all. Lots of prizes to be won, including ZTE Nubia smartphones with free 15GB Airtel data. StarTimes gift that keeps on giving. Merry Christmas. This message is powered by ZTE Nubia. Better for all.
It's true what people say, that when I wash and you wash your hands with soap, we'll have less infections as Ugandans. After all, it's hands that handle money. It's hands that feed us. Hands that prepare soil for farming. Hands that we use to learn. And hands hands that we use for fun.
When I wash and you wash, it means clean hands for all. So, wash your hands with soap and clean water regularly to keep away infections and disease-causing germs. This message is from the National Hand Washing Secretariat with support from UNICEF.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
We'll be back, dear viewers, from that short commercial break. I'm still your show's host, Sunday Jonatom, and today, those who could have just joined in, we have been delighted to be joined by the team from Terego and Yumbe, which are running a project which they are calling Heyo Project, which mainly focuses on empowering the youth in matters not only regarding their health and also other aspects, as it was earlier brought out by Mr. James. Then in this segment, we are again further joined by the team. We have new panelists who are going to introduce themselves, and they'll take us through further of what is being done in regards to the project. Let me begin from my near right. You can introduce yourself, madam, to the viewers.
Thank you, moderator. My name is Christine Chandia, and I work in partnership with the Heyo team, and particularly I work for restless development, and I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. Then on my far right.
Yes, good evening, viewers. I'll be taking you through these issues of today's theme. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Yovan, and also Madam Christine. However, I'm going to start with you, Mr. Yovan.
Yes.
Since your project is being run in the districts of Yumbe and Terego, we would love you to give us a feeling of how the HIV infection or maybe this disease affecting the lives of the people of the in those districts.
Thank you, moderator. In Terego, Heyo is a partner which is contributing towards implementation of the health service, especially focusing on young people. They had been contributing a lot, but the one effort may not be enough, but we need additional effort. So our focusing especially on our theme today. I just want to first read our theme, and then I'll go through some few data for our district.
Okay.
Yeah, our theme today is accelerating our interventions to end AIDS in 2030. This is the World AIDS Day theme for our country today. The reason why here we're saying we are accelerating our efforts is which means there are some gaps. So our district, I want to bring it direct to our district because the picture for our country has already been given. The district Terego, though they are also providing various interventions, we have increased the number of new infections. In the year 2023, we had new infections 164. But in the year 2022, we had 133 new infections, meaning that there's been an increase of around 19%. So, but amongst this, the young people, the proportion has been more. The ages between 15 to 24. These are young people. Then, if you also see the prevalence has increased according to the UFIA report 2021 and the report from our DHS2 data. We realized in 2021 our prevalence was 1.2, but currently it is, according to the report of the Uganda AIDS Commission, it is 1.4, meaning that there was a 0.2 increase in the new HIV infection. So that is Terego's picture. And according to our contribution, we are supposed to have 95% of the population who are HIV positive to know their status. And when you see our population with the prevalence rate of 1.4, about 3,000 people are supposed to be enrolled in care. But currently, we have enrolled who are active on care are 1,530 as Terego. So there is still a gap. People are not coming to know their status, and the new infections are there. So this is how shall we now accelerate our efforts to end HIV by 2030. Yeah.
However, I would love to know from you. We are seeing, like in some districts, actually, fortunately, the number of these new HIV infections are on the decrease. But when you gave the statistics for Terego, like the numbers are on the rise, we would love to know what could be some of those factors which are attributing to the rise in the number of these HIV infections.
You see, there are a number of factors. You know, Terego has been a refugee hosting, and though we are having interventions with our partners in place, we also have some challenges. You can see the issue of drug abuse. School-going children are dropping out of school, and there are so many issues with the interaction with our brothers and sisters from our neighboring country. So these are also some contributing factors which are leading to increase in HIV.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Yovan. I hope the viewers have gotten a feeling or a picture of how the HIV numbers are like in the districts of Terego, and he attributed it to this being a host districts to refugees, so now people move in and out without regulation. However, I would love to know, in regards to the theme, as you are coming to, as you are fighting, as maybe HAIL project, you are fighting HIV/AIDS. What are your main themes or your targets in regards to fighting HIV?
So we are guided, we are using the approach of PREPA. There are a number of things we do to reduce the HIV new infections, which include reducing new HIV infection through, for the young people, doing safe medical circumcision. And we also have, making these young people to be in groups. When they're in groups, they have peers. And these peers, they will discuss a lot. And how can we prevent having this HIV? And when we educate the peers, it is better for us to reach more of the same peers. So that way, we also contribute to reducing the HIV. Among us, there's also increase comprehensive knowledge. Knowledge is power. When we talk to people, people are aware of their problem. Like today, we are talking and we have given the picture of HIV in our district. And when people know this, and the drivers, we also tell them, they'll be able to abide by, and then follow the healthy lives, they'll be okay. So knowledge is a key thing which we also do in Terego. Then the other thing we do is we increase access to antiretroviral therapy. The other colleague of mine talked about a number of facilities have been accredited to provide antiretroviral therapy. The ARVs are in most facilities, they are available. Government is able to provide, and for us district, we check whether the drugs are available, and if they are not there, we order them timely so that we don't have stock out of these drugs. And when somebody is tested positive, immediately, because the drugs are available, we initiate on treatment. And that way, we shall also reduce. And then there is a prevention of mother-to-child transmission of HIV services. We do. Here, the pregnant mothers, they are supposed, when you are pregnant, they are supposed to reach the health facility, you will be tested in the first ANC. And when you are tested in the first ANC, they will be able to identify whether you are HIV negative or you are HIV positive. When you are negative, they give you health education to continue to be negative. But when you are positive, when the mother is positive, since we have the drugs, we immediately enroll her on treatment so that this mother does not transmit this infection to the baby. And also in the ANC, we do not only screen HIV, we screen hepatitis, we screen syphilis, because this is triple screening. All these ones are to reduce HIV new infection. And we also have, data is very important, because we don't only give services without knowing what is happening. Data, we collect data daily when we are giving services, and we analyze this data to make a decision. So we sometimes review this data with our stakeholders to tell them the magnitude and what can we do. The stakeholder like the health, and here we move on. So there's also, the financing is very key. Government is giving funds to support HIV program. Additional, these funds will not be enough, and that's why you see we are here, because we have been partnering with our partners in the district, and that is a contribution to reducing HIV new infection. So the viewers, we are all stakeholders. Stakeholders are key. Don't leave the issue of HIV on the hands of what? The health. It is cross-cutting. All parties are involved, whether you are a religious leader, whether you are a cultural leader, whether you are the other side. We need to talk the same language. That way we shall reduce our HIV new infection. So all those ones have been in place, and we are guided. The other issue is also reaching the community. Drugs, we say that we cannot only limit giving the treatment or ARVs at facility level. So there's community, we call it community-led. So we also, those stable clients, we call them stable because they are able to take their medicine within they adhere to the treatment very well, and the viral load is they are suppressed, and they are not children. Mostly those are for adults. We give this drug at the community level. That community level, because other people don't miss. They are what? They are pills. All those approaches are focusing towards reducing the HIV new infection. Yes.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Yovan. I hope the viewers, you have gotten a feel of how this project in regards to HEYO, of how impactful they are doing and intervening in the fight against HIV in the district of Terego. However, I would love to get to you, Madam Christine. One of the challenges, okay, from the view, what I feel like could be there in the community, people who have HIV may have difficulties in disclosing out that they have HIV. So you find people resort to being, you know, in primary we were learning about vectors. So like they become distributors. They distribute HIV from another person to another person and the other person. How do you always guide out to positive clients to embrace it and maybe come up and be comfortable with it, take their medications appropriately, and also not transmit this infection to other colleagues? Thank you.
Thank you very much, moderator, and listeners or viewers out there. Maybe just before I come to that, I just want to re-echo about the new infections that is on. We have over 38,000 new infections, that is according to the Ministry of Health, and 19,000 of these have died already. So as partners in ensuring that we involve the community members in the fight of HIV, and we are focusing on the young people. And as I speak, we have 40% of the 38,000 infections are young people between 15 to 24. So that means almost 15,200 of the young people are part of the 38,000 that are in the new infection and they are HIV positive. So of course there are a lot of gaps even when we are trying to fight in the end of HIV. Of course we are happy to partner with the district local government in ensuring the services are available through the facility care, the health system strengthening. We can't do this alone, and that's why we are calling about concerted efforts of the different partners in the community members to ensure that by 2030 we're able to have zero new infections of HIV. So coming to the issue of community, basically community acceptance or mobilization, and in terms of HIV/AIDS, one of the most gap we have continuously been able to identify is people still have negative attitudes, and there is discrimination and stigma that is still ongoing in the community, and that makes it very difficult for someone who tests positive for HIV unable to disclose. Yeah, because when you disclose, there is the community talk. You know, Christine is HIV positive, be careful, don't be near her. So that makes Christine very difficult, for Christine very difficult to come loud and, you know, disclose that, you know, I'm HIV positive, and do this, go and test, know your status, please be enrolled and take your medicine religiously or jealously. So that is most of the things that affect the people out there to disclose for their HIV status. But also for the young people, it is even worse, because they are looking at their age. If I disclose now, how will I even be with my peers? How will I continue with school? And, you know, will I even get anything? So they end up keeping quiet as they continuously engage in unprotected sex and infect even more younger people in the community. Yeah. So that is the fact about the disclosure in terms of HIV positive people living in the community. I just want to add on to that, we still have negative gender and social norms that are intrigued to affecting people living with HIV. Yeah. But also this is a baseline factor to the increase in the new infection. Why? We've had recently a number of young girls getting married at a tender age. And when these girls get married, they actually don't even know the status of the people they are marrying to. Because they, some of them do not even know that they're pregnant. They just realize they're pregnant. But also we have this family who could be connecting, I've seen a man who has got many cows or many animals. So this girl is kind of forcefully threatened to get married to this man whose status she's not aware of. And in the end, she gets infected and she's unable to even come out to say, I got infected, because she's actually young and the partner is older and probably she is wife number 2 or 3. So she will stay and probably go get it silently without the community knowing, or even the kind of support she will want is not known. So in terms of negative social and gender norms, we have in some communities what we call widow inheritance. It is still happening, though in a low level. Yeah, a young woman has lost a husband, but someone within the family is eyeing at this young woman, So this young woman, because has got children, probably 3 or 4, looks at herself like, now, should I leave this marriage? So another person, maybe the brother to the late husband, or someone within the clan whom she kind of knows, and is trying to come closer and wants to step in to be to play a role of a husband in her life. And it becomes very difficult for this girl to reject, given the nature of our illiterate community, especially the rural areas, who cannot stand and talk for themselves. So in the end, this widow will not even ask, can we go and test, may I know whether you're positive or not? They don't even have that zeal to ask that. So you find women get infected in such a direction because the gender social norm, we find the cultural leaders, or even the clan leaders can sit, you have 4 children, where are you going? This man will take care of you. You, our wife, stay here and we shall take care of you, when you do not even know the status of the man. Yeah. And then also the other thing is we still have a lot of sexual gender-based violence happening in our communities. And recently you'll hear that a 40-year-old raping a 3-year-old. You can imagine 40-year-old is raping a young girl. And you just wonder, is this a human being or this is an animal? And it is the reality. People come out and nobody knows the status of this man, because this girl is raped. In the end, you find this young girl gets infected with HIV and lives with it. Parents or caregivers even finds it difficult to explain the process of how did they get HIV, It is very difficult to disclose this to this kind of people, because the event occurrence is a very terrible and traumatizing event to explain. So that is one of the key factors in the community that occurs and has led to the increase in the infections we are seeing, the 38. Also, the other thing is we have issues of transactional sex, which is happening. And in the transactional sex, people are looking at money. Yeah, can I get money when I get sexually in touch with someone? Or I think he has money, he can pay my bills, I can use it for ABCD. So in such an event, a young lady is unable to even think about, I'll get HIV, I'll get this. No, as long as I get the money. Actually, currently, what people say is, after all, the antiretroviral treatment is available, and I'll stay longer. So they forget all the circumstances in terms of feeding or the process of taking this medication, that actually HIV has got no cure, but you'll just be suppressing the viral load and you'll take the medication forever until you die. So they end up engaging in other transactional sex just to get resources to, to manage their bills of the day, but also of what they need to buy. The other most important that I do not want to leave out is in terms of couples. Yeah, we have issues of extramarital affairs, multiple sexual partners that happen outside marriages. Even for the young people, recently when we are carrying out community-based outreaches, and this 18-year-old was telling us that, you know, when you have one girlfriend, this girlfriend will be big-headed, you know. So big-headed, yes, big-headed because, you know, I'm the only one, he's the only one for me. So for you to reduce that big-headedness, I have to have like 3 or 4 so that they will compete, you know. They will do everything possible to show me love, and they'll be able to win this out. So the extramarital marriage, sexual relationship in marriage, but also having multiple sexual partners as young people is one of the core, you know, infectious channels for new HIV infection we have. So for me, I see most of, especially when you look at Yumbe, where a man can marry more than 4, you get it, more than 4, and I doubt, for lack of better words, I doubt that even the 4th wife will ask about the HIV status of the man. We'll just see, okay, the 3 are living, that means he's a good man, yeah? Also our cultural and religious, you know, the religious is saying, oh, it's fine to get married as even the 4th or the 7th wife. So they'll end up into the marriage without knowing their HIV status, and in the end, you enter into a marriage that is already infected, and you get part of the victim, and you have nothing to do to come out. You remain there. Yes. So those are the key kind of, I would say, challenges in the community, or gaps that are really, even when we are fighting, just like Yovan highlighted the key things they are doing as a district, but also as partners, we still have that continuously happening, and that's why the fight for HIV will not stop until we see 0 new infections. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Madam Christine. I hope the viewers have gotten a feel of some of the challenges which are affecting the effectiveness of this project. However, I would love again to come to you, Madam Christine. Are there some challenges specifically which have affected the smooth running of this project? And if there are some, you could also give us the way forwards the HEYO team has come up with, which is HEYO is Healthy Empowered Youth. So we would love to know what are the challenges specifically affecting the smooth running of the project and your way forwards.
Thank you, moderator and the viewers. I will just add into what my colleague James had highlighted earlier. One, HEYO project is looking at both in and out of school. When you look at the literacy level, it's very, very low. Yeah, that means you're going to pass out information in the local language, yes? But you know, especially for the in school, if you're printing out magazines, we have Straight Talk that talks about all the issues of reproductive health and rights. Yeah, so you know, it's challenging because the literacy level has enabled the young people not to focus so much on the knowledge that we are, even the awareness creation in schools and out of schools. It has affected us to smoothly run with the community, but we are doing this in ensure that if they can understand our awareness about, especially the young people having information and knowledge to, you know, to manage their bodies, to understand the different changes they're encountering as adolescents as they are growing up, we feel that they will be able to manage their bodies and be able to resist some of these challenges. The other thing, of course, being a project, it's short term. Yeah, and that's why HEYO, especially Coded and Race Alliance, SRH Alliance, is working with partners in the local government to ensure that there's sustainability. Who is next, so that they're able to take on into the project in the intervention areas. So finance. Yeah, because we have to reach many people, and HEYO is actually only focused in one sub-county. So what about the rest of the sub-counties? How will they get this kind of information? So those are the key gaps we are seeing, that we may not be able to reach the whole district, but at least the one sub-county that we are reaching to, we believe that with the district being involved and also other partners like Restless Development, yeah, we'll be able to really run this out. So what I think we can do, and this is mostly call to action, and a call to action is for everybody out there. And I'll start with the parents, because us focusing on young people, it starts from their growth, and the growth starts from the womb, and as you give birth, they are brought up in a family. Parents, we are calling upon you to give time to the young people. Speak to them. We're encouraging you to talk about the body changes. If a girl has started developing breasts or their body changes, explain to them why this is happening. If they are starting their menstruations, explain to them the growth levels and the dangers of this or the goodness of this, so that they're able to know and be able to, engage in unprotected sex that will lead them to getting teenage pregnancy or even HIV infection and other STIs. 2, we want the young people to have meaningful conversation at the household level with their caregivers. As a young person, we are asking you to open up. You have got challenges. If you have been raped, please open up so that you can be supported with PEP in time, and you'll not be able to get this infection. Because if you don't open up, nobody will know what is happening to you. And this comes with parents providing a conducive environment at home to ensure that, Lastly, young people, please abstain from sex. Abstain from early sexual indulgence, because that is the first protection you have to ensure that you end HIV, new infections in your community. And peer pressure, know your friends. That is what I can say to call upon actions, but also engaging men and boys in the community to support the fight to zero HIV infections. Breastfeeding, talked about PMTCT, encourage them to breastfeed, also provide what is necessary for the family and be with the family so that the aspect of new infections will not be there at the household level.
All right, thank you very much, Madam Christine. However, in 5 seconds, Mr. Yovan, you could give in your conclusion remarks.
Yes, thank you, moderator. I think I just want to say 1 or 2 things, especially focusing on the adolescents. Adolescents, let us be responsive to our health, and the service providers, that's the health facilities and the community, we all need to be responsive to adolescents' services. There are so many. One of the services she has already mentioned them, but come to facilities, you get more knowledge and get more interactions with your peers, so that we end HIV by 20, the new infection by 2030.
Okay.
So that is the brief I just wanted to say. Thank you, moderator, for hosting us. Okay. It's a nice time. We hope to meet again.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Yovan and Madam Christine, to the team from HEYO project. Also, we don't take it for granted. And also, I believe the viewers have not remained the same. You have impacted their lives. And also from us to you, the viewers, please, the first step in fighting HIV, know your status. Thank you. I've been your host, Sunday Junior Tom. Have a good night and keep on for more programs. Thank you.
Thank you.